that I think, you know what, I think I'm just going to take this one piece here. Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be on the floor. So I just got done with the Curl Smith orchids that I have now placed back into their homes. Was taking a little break and I kept looking at this one and she was calling to me. She's like, fix me, help me. And since I'm kind of in that mode and that mindset, be a perfect time to get in there and chop her up. I feel like we are gonna have to chop her up because like she's got lots of new growths coming. I just think she needs help. I just think we need to clean her up. And in the event that after I chop her up, she will be chopped. I mean, there is no getting around that. Once we clean her up, chop her up, save whatever pieces we can save. I do have 2 other pots over here from Orchid Supply Store, which you can get a 12% discount if you use coupon code TRISH. But I have this 18 centimeter or 7-inch pot. And then I also have the larger one, the 20 centimeter, 8-inch pot, just in case the pieces that are left are not going to be enough for this setup anymore. So let me get you on the tripod and let's see what we got in there. Let's just dig in. And I'm just going to pour everything on the potting mat because I am going to reuse whatever's in here. I'm hoping that it's not super dry because I didn't wet it. I don't like touching super wet moss. And let's just dump her out. And if you hear like squeaking and stuff, that's because I do live in a house that was built in 1949, so it's got the original wood floors in it, and the floors are a little creaky. And not that I'm bouncing around on the floor, but it does creak from time to time. Let me set that to the side. And I'm just going to kind of take around on the outside. So the moss is still kind of damp. It's not wet. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess. Okay, there it is. So she's just going to come out. Yeah, she has no roots. She has absolutely no roots. I don't think she's going to go back in there. Let me get this name tag. Yeah, I don't think she's going to go back into that, guys. I think we are going to have to put her in a pot. Let's see. Let me just get all this out of here first. She's got some nice, decent roots in here. Oh, no, she doesn't. They look decent. Yeah, all right. Let's just start cutting her. See what we got. Or maybe we just divide her in 2. This might be easier than I thought. I see some new growth there, new growth there. So it looks like if I just take, too high. If I just take right here and maybe pull apart, maybe we can just divide her right here. So there's one piece. All right, let's just clean that up. I did not grab stakes. I am going to need stakes. I feel it already. This piece has this growth here. And I think I was afraid to be over-watering her with a dried spike in there. So I wasn't watering her too much, but in hindsight, I probably should have kept this a little more wet than I was. And let's just clean off all of the sheaths so that any roots that she does decide to grow, whoops, don't want to put it in the medium I'm about to use, any roots that she might grow. So we have a new growth right here. If I can get it, there we go. A new growth here. I have a new growth starting right here on this one. Actually, there's 2 new growths starting on this. And I need to move that out of the way before let me just push all that over here. Well, the good thing is I've got plenty of moss now between the block I just got from Orchid Supply Store and then all this moss here. So let me just clean off all of the sheaths here. Because it looks like the roots were trying to develop, but because it was just too dry, it was not going anywhere. Let's see, get the sheath off of this new growth here. I don't think that the pot itself, what I was doing was a bad idea. I just think I wasn't keeping enough moisture in said pot to support her. And that would explain all of these desiccated bulbs. I'm kind of tempted to, yeah, because if you look, this new growth right here, well, if I can find the camera, there it is. This new growth right here is going to hopefully push out new roots. If I can just get, but I'm kind of tempted, like as I was getting ready to say, to cut off this one right here. But I don't know if that new growth is coming off of this one or this one. But I kind of want to, let's see if I, nope, because that is coming off of that one. Well, I'm just going to take this leaf right here off because it obviously is going to be in my way. So let's take that off. And I know this looks a little rough, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to save what you want to save. What else can we take up? There's another sheath here that we'll take off. And then we'll just put the pieces all off to the side. I do have some large bark to put at the bottom of the pot or this, depending on what happens here. But I'm pretty sure these pieces are gonna go into a pot. See, if you look, these roots right here tried to grow, and because it was just too dry, they gave up. So we'll just cut those off. I'm not gonna be too pedantic about cutting these off because I need something to anchor the plant into a media. But I'm hoping that maybe if I get some moss a little bit closer to the new growths, those new roots, that they're going to produce, because there's a root tip right there. So we have a little bit of hope. Do you see it? You see that little root tip right there? Hope you guys can see that. But it's just right there. Hopefully that'll go in. All right, so that's all we're gonna do on that piece. Put that there for now. And then I think, let's just, I'm trying to do this without cutting. Let's see if we can find a natural break. Take some more of this moss off of here. I'm gonna show you guys this. See the roots? Like it went in fine. I just didn't keep her hydrated was the issue. So let's see, there's another little natural break right here, and there's lots of new growth on that side. So we're just gonna break it. And like I said, I know this looks cruel, but I gotta do what I gotta do if I wanna save her. She's got cute little blooms. There we go. And just to look at the rhizome here. Hold on, let me see. Now, there is a little bit of pinkish red there, but she does have burgundy blooms, so that could be from the blooms. But I will definitely be watching her because I don't think it has anything to do with any kind of fusarium or anything like that. I think it's just my lack of keeping her hydrated is what's bringing her down, because the growths themselves are all normal. They don't look weird or anything like that. You just cut off these right here. Has anybody else just gotten into a plant and just kind of destroyed it like I'm doing this one? So that's got a new growth, and that's going to be stuck on there. Let's get rid of some of this old sheathing here. And I'm just going to cut this one bulb off here. Maybe that'll encourage some new growth. And there's an old spike. Let's take that off. That leaf looks okay. Oh, I got myself a little blood blister right here. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Right there. Yep. I was setting up the tripod, not paying attention, and I closed part of my finger into where you snap it closed, you know, the little clippy thing. Yeah. It's a little sore right now, but it is what it is. I'm just going to, again, cut off these new roots that just could not go in and got dehydrated, and maybe encourage some new root growth on this bad girl. And then there's another flower spike. Like when she's healthy, she blooms all the time. It's just a matter of getting her back into her own. Give me a second, let me finish cleaning this off. And this one's got several new growths on it as well. And this has some active root tips on it. Take the sheath off of there. I used to be so careful when I used to do this, but now that I've done a few. I'm just like, you know what? They're gonna make it. Those roots, especially with these right here that have the new root tips, I think she's gonna be fine. This piece here anyway. Just don't cut any of the new root tips is the key, right? All right, let me just get some of the older ones out of the way. So this one here, if you can see, has quite the roots and the root tips. So it's the one little piece, and it has 2 growths on it. And this is the one that had that spike that we kind of saw, but it wasn't a very good spiking, and it's because it wasn't hydrated. It couldn't give us a spike. That was beautiful, but somebody did not keep her hydrated. I need to talk to my watering lady. She's not doing her job. Okay, yeah, so look at this one. See right here? It's clean. It's clean. So that makes 2 pieces. Let's just do this here. And got to figure out how to sit. I haven't sat on the floor in a while. And then this piece has this new growth on this side. And then we have 2 new growths on this side. Because I could sacrifice part of this plant. Like, I don't have to save the whole thing. If I can save some of it, then that's fine. I don't have to save the whole thing. I really don't. I would like to. She was such a beautiful, beautiful orchid when I bought her. And this is what I have reduced her to. And once I clean these up, I may end up just discarding some of the pieces and just keep a few. I may not even keep all of these. Just gonna get rid of that old piece there. Here's another piece. And do I want to save any of this? This has actually got a nice little back bulb on it. So I'm actually going to cut into this rhizome because I don't want to mess up the this actual piece here. And after we're done cleaning this up, I am going to have to go get some stakes because these girls are definitely not going to stand in nothing by themselves. An attempt at roots, but couldn't get down into the media. And just to show you again, it's clean. Yep, it's clean. I think that other one is just because it does have, like I said, burgundy blooms on it. So that's trash. And let's see, is any of this worth keeping really? Or, oh, these, well, no. You know what? I'm just going to throw this whole piece right here away. I mean, I do have new growth here, a new growth here, this new growth. But in order to utilize it, I would have to, like this right here, and then I would have to take that piece off, and I would be left with that. And let's see what else we got here. I'd be left with that. And then this one right here just completely dried out. So yeah, we're just going to toss that one and that one. All right, so let's see what we're left with. I'm not sure where it cut off because my daughter called and I needed to chat with her. A friend of hers fosters dogs, and they had an event, and so she went to go volunteer and try to help to get some of them adopted. And of course she saw one, and I was kind of afraid of that, but she did leave it there, which is good because we have enough for now. But in the meantime, while I was talking to her, I was kind of looking at the pots. I feel that this one is still going to be too much, even if I put it into one, but I could pot them lower, like make it a smaller pot, and then once she kind of develops and gets some root systems, raise her up. Or I could put these pieces together and these pieces together in 2 pots. The thing is, I don't want 2 pots. I'm trying to keep it together. So I am going to put it in the 7-inch, 18-centimeter pot, but I'm going to make it a more shallow pot by adding lots and lots of large bark at the bottom until I kind of get it the size that I want. So there, let's see, maybe a little bit more in there. Maybe like that. And then this way, technically the pot is only that big instead of that big. So it's more like if we put this in there, Now I've made it the same height as this one, just a little bit bigger, in theory, right? So we're gonna just sprinkle a little bit of moss down here at the bottom. And I did get some bumbo skewers. I got my Velcro, which this Velcro actually came with, I bought 2 hoop trellises, and this Velcro came with it. So I'm gonna use this because it's a little bit smaller to go around these guys. Again, sorry about the disruption, but Amazon has delivered a package. I have no idea who it's for, what it is. I haven't even gone to check. I want to finish this right here. So, like I was saying, I got these. I bought some hoop trellises, and this roll came with it. I mean, that's a nice big roll. I have taken off probably about that much of it, but that's a nice roll, and I like the size of it. It's nice and thin. The other Velcro straps that I use, I like that for like my bigger girls, but since these are kind of, you know, in a sad shape, this smaller one probably will be a beneficial. Speaking of beneficial, I'm gonna put some mycorrhizal fungi in here to create a nice healthy biozone or bio environment. I can't talk today, and it is okay. I've been talking all day. All freaking day I have been talking. All right, so we're gonna put that in there. And this moss is damp. So after I finish this repot, I'm not gonna wet right now just because I did do all of those cuttings, and I didn't seal it with cinnamon. So it's already without roots and water, so I will water it tomorrow. Tomorrow is also clean my windows day. I'm so excited, guys. Y'all just don't know. I know a lot of people are like, what? You're excited to clean your windows? I really am. I really am. I've been trying to do it for the last 3 weekends, and the first weekend, it just rained all weekend. And then last weekend, it rained and then it snowed, and then it was just too cold to do it. And I was gonna do it today, but then I got into this, started doing this. So tomorrow, it is supposed to get around, I think they said 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect. So I am gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna clean all my windows, which I like to do probably about every 3 to 4 months, just to keep them clean. And if I get a lot of rain, I'll especially do the ones on the outside. I just hose them down. But the ones on the inside, I usually wipe them down about once a month. But I'm excited to get the screens cleaned and get everything nice and open so that all this lovely spring light can come in for the girls and for me. All right, let's see how we're gonna put these in. So this one has a growth here, and a growth in the middle. And then I don't think that's gonna be the problem one. Let's do, all right, so we have this growth right here on this side. Then we have this one. So let's do those about like that. And then this one has 2 growths on this and this side. So we're gonna put it on the back here. And then I probably should strap all of those together, huh? Yeah, that's probably what we should be doing here. So let's do that first. This way they can all be at the same height and stay together. Got my scissors here. I was about to use my cutters. Not a good idea. So let's see, how are we gonna do this? Because I just need it in there long enough to get them situated. And then I will probably take this off when I go to stake it. But just go around here like that. And I didn't make a big enough piece. Yeah. Well, we're gonna attempt to do it this way. All right, we're just gonna hold it. And this one is kind of the wanky one with a growth in the middle and on the side. Let's see, we'll do it kind of like that. Maybe do it like that. Yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll do it like that. And put a little more moss down in here. And then I'm also going to add some of the large bark just to kind of help with aeration purposes. This way it doesn't get too bogged in, hopefully. That's the thought process anyway. And I'm just going to put it back where I had her on the shelf. The good thing is that will allow some more space now. I am putting the moss in here kind of heavy, pretty heavy actually, especially around these new growths, because I do want them to reach for the moss with their new roots, because all of them have where you can, well, I showed you already where they were attempting to do roots, but it was too dry, so they couldn't get into the media. So I am putting quite the moss around it. I'll keep an eye too, just to make sure that I don't rot the new growth either with that moss right there. But I do have a couple of videos where I've shown you where I do this with Cattleyas, where I get the moss right up underneath the last layer of bark. And I found that the roots go down because it holds the humidity a little bit longer, where the surface is kind of dry, but the roots themselves will reach for that humidity down in the moss. And let's go ahead and put a stake right here. And I'll put another one in the back right here. There we go. Let me see, is that all the way down? Doesn't fit. There we go. Now it is. There we go. Now, may not even have to really attach these with the stakes kind of being right there. That's kind of the hope. Unless I have to strap anything in, and then we'll put a stake right here. There we go. And then I think, yeah, see, once I get the bark in there, it won't be so wobbly. So we'll just do that. And then let me just put a little bit more moss. I know this looks like a lot of moss, and it is a lot of moss, but I really want to encourage those roots to get into le moss. So now we just top it off with the bark right on top to keep it from getting algae buildup and to keep it from drying out too quickly. But all of the new growths do have moss around them. And then I'm going to take this piece of bark and set it right in there to help keep that stable. There we go. And this is medium bark, large bark. I think there's even some Vanda bark in there, but that is okay because this way it'll be still nice and airy. Again, they can get down into the moss, and I might cut this leaf off because it's just kind of wanky and in the way. I'll wait a day or so maybe, or I may just cut it right now. Haven't decided, but I will here in just a minute before I put her up. All right, so see with the moss in there, she's not quite as wobbly, not moss, the bark. So it is kind of layered. So the pot is really only that deep, even though it's in a 7-inch, it's more in a 6-inch now. And hopefully now all of these new growths, as you can see, are kind of in the media itself, especially this one right down here. And this one, hopefully now they can reach for that media down below, and the roots will grab on, and we should see some progress on her in the next couple of weeks. We'll do an update on her either during like a Saturday stroll, or I'll do a separate update video on just a few of the orchids. Let me know, do you guys like update videos? Do you guys not? Because if you do, I've got some ideas we can do. All right, well, there she is. Hopefully now she will bounce back. And like I said, this is the burgundy and yellow Oncidium that I got from Trader Joe's back in 2022. And it has attempted to bloom a couple of times, and it has bloomed a couple of times. It's just not been the gorgeous show since I put her in here, and I just was not keeping. This is barely damp. Like, it's not even, it's almost dry. I just need to pay more attention and give her more hydration. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me and sticking around while I got this lovely lady tore up and separated. And these pieces, I'm just going to throw them away. I'm not going to save any of those. I've got plenty here, and she's got plenty of growths to fill herself out. Guys, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.